Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, December 28, 2022, after 3 p.m. Eastern. In our Time for Change call tonight, and update everybody on the current positive status of things. Not, it won't be doom and gloom, so anybody wants doom and gloom, they can go look for it. And then we have, Friday is going to be quite an interesting call. We're going to have Jim Barnett, one of the founders of New Extract, and the doctor, Dr. Brazos Minshew, is going to be with him, and he's the formulator of I Accelerate. So we're going to hear it from the horse's mouth and get some really good education on the applications of these formulations, so people have a heads up on the combination of I Hercules and I Accelerate. And that'll be 9 p.m. Friday night on our Reverse Aging Health Call. One of the challenges that we meet in this life is being able or choosing to letting everything be as it is. Since, our ego minds are constantly trying to pull us into the future or the past where we suffer, and our direction is to concentrate and focus more on the now. And as Buddha, which means, again, Buddha means enlightened one. It isn't really a name of a person. Same with Christ. Christ means the same, enlightened one. Krishna, enlightened one. These are not names of people or beings. They just are, they're definitions, abbreviations of definitions of enlightened one. If you want to try this, you can try this for the next 7 days to explore the experience of letting everything be as it is. You can lose only what you cling on to. You can lose only what you cling on to. This doesn't mean that you practice letting your dog run wild out into a busy traffic street. This practice is much deeper than that. It's about creating a new relationship with our minds. As we are sitting here, listening to the words, and practice letting everything be as it is. And it's a choice. We can choose to let our bodies, mind, and thoughts be as they are. Let our lives be what it is. And just sit back just an inch and watch. Observe. Listen. Yet do not react. Let every thought that flows by be exactly what it is. Another thought. Let every feeling you have be just that, a feeling or an emotion. If you should have a disturbing thought or feeling, just notice your reaction to it, but don't participate in the drama or the story. In other words, you're watching, but you're not participating. Now, you're just watching. Sit back from those tight reins you've had on your mind all these years and take a little vacation. And you deserve it. As it is time to transcend our mind and liberate ourselves from its patterns. The day we become devoted to being an allowaholic, our everyday ordinary experiences become an extraordinary gateway to the divine. The essence of saintliness is total acceptance of the present moment, harmony with things as they happen. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. In this world, there are very few people searching for freedom, stillness, or enlightenment. There are many who will never look for it throughout their entire lives. There are also those who choose to work hard to earn money, pay more bills, and desperately try to get out of the rat race. They never realize that they are creating a race by playing this game. And then there are those who are totally content with a small, humble income and happy with the few possessions they own. There are 385,000 tiny human babies who were just born new into this world this morning. Roughly. 385,000 tiny human baby bodies who were just born new into this world this morning, eagerly breathing their first breath of air. Then there are around 180,000 people who just finished their life and had their last breath of air over the last 24 hours. 180,000 people who just finished their life, and had their last breath of air over the last 24 hours. This world allows for such a rich diversity of people, experiences, and life to exist here. Our planet allows everyone to have their own unique flavor and personal experience of this life. That's pretty cool. This universe allows us to play whatever role we want to play in our lives. It will embrace, accept, and celebrate our existence exactly the way we are. When we return this acceptance and embrace our life as it is, then everything changes in a miraculous way. No matter what our habits, karmic patterns, or lifelong addiction, we always have the choice to be free. This freedom, however, is not a freedom from something or for something. This freedom, however, is not a freedom from something or for something. True freedom is letting and allowing everything be exactly as it is. This means choosing to be at peace with yourself just the way you are. The world as it is right now, right? Choosing to be at peace with yourself just the way you are, the world as it is right now, and accepting your fellow brother, sister, lover, mother, father, neighbor, or in-law exactly as they are right now. When we discover that total acceptance equals outrageous inner peace, we will never go back again. Now, I must warn you that this path is highly intoxicating. You might become addicted to letting everything be as it is. You'll have more and more energy and inspiration every new day. Letting this life run its course means you're trusting that divinely guided spirit is taking you to the highest destiny in your future. Absence of consciousness is ego. Whenever the ego is absent, God is present also. Absence of consciousness is ego. Whenever the ego is absent, God is present. Or whatever you want to label it. Pure consciousness, the divine. It takes a real master to balance on this edge of allowing everything to be as it is and still be enthusiastic about our life's mission. The discovery is knowing who we really are and knowing that this pure essence of you cannot be crushed by your ego's incessant demanding habit. The ego always wants, and feels that it needs to have everything it wants right now. Who we truly are cannot be touched by this wanting. The ego is unconscious of its habit. It is designed to spend this entire lifetime in a state of desire. Yet, do you think it will ever find inner peace? Nope. The ego cannot know what peace is. That is not its purpose. Only our hearts can know this divine sensation. When our mind lets go of the efforting, allowing everything to be as it is, then the heart opens, and we can take refuge in its deep silence and stillness. Only then is the greatest experience in existence discovered. As we begin to uncover in this journey, in our transition to a higher frequency, of sustainability of that frequency, we begin to discover more and more about our inward journey. And, bit by bit, piece by piece, we will discover genuinely who and what we are in these bodies. If you were to follow your ego mind, right, throughout eternity, each time you entered the physical body, and you had the ego mind is inherited, and it masters you, tells you, guides you, keeps you in the past or the future. You suffer wanting. Never ends. You'll move forward, but in such small increments. Take you 10 times longer to discover who and what you are in that body, maybe, if ever. But you begin to go within on your own choice, and then you start discovering who and what you really are. Then once you do, the civilization will be catapulted into a totally different existence. There will be no more guessing. See, we're all connected to a cosmic, intelligent web of energy, love, and information that physically exists in between every atom in this universe. An exponentially increasing flow of deep inspirational insights happens with every thought which passes through. It is unimaginable, yet the moment we let go of this small limiting identity, who we've been conditioned to believe is you, right? And dive deeper into the trusting this omnipresent intelligence, our inner light switches on. We will know it because our bodies become deeply relaxed and our minds become supremely empty, soft and receptive to every possible experience that flows our way. The journey towards enlightenment is a constant celebration of life. Are you constantly celebrating life? The good, the bad, the ugly? Or are you complaining, being frustrated, being dragged into the future or back into the past? Is where we suffer. The journey towards enlightenment is a constant celebration of life. Living every moment with the recognition that we are intimately connected to a power that is so great, so intelligent and loving that we wouldn't trade it for all the diamonds, gold, and money on this planet. This living, breathing, highly conscious, intelligent energy is all powerful, and it is always flowing through us. It is around us, instantly available to us, and loves us deeply and eternally. Enlightenment is fully surrendering to this truth every day, everywhere we are. Nothing ever happens by accident in this enlightened universe. There are no coincidences in the enlightened being's understanding of this life. Even our decision to read certain articles, and we do that on occasion, is not an accident. Every experience is always the right experience for that moment in our journey. Life is the perfect teacher. How can this infinitely intelligent universe ever make a mistake? Every lesson our souls came here to learn is being provided for us through each breath and experience that we are given. Our spiritual path into enlightenment is our path home. This universe is constantly here, guiding us, helping us to remember and reawaken the realization of our awesome, true, radiant self. It does seem strange, doesn't it? We incarnate in these bodies, these baby bodies. Do we have memory of the life we had left before we entered this baby body? The majority of the time, not even a smidgen. We do somewhat for the first 3 to 6, maybe 3 to 6, 7 years. We do remember bits and pieces of our past life, the life that we left and then entered this one. Dramatically shifting into a higher enlightened state you'll start manifesting the most amazing, enlightening adventure you could ever dream possible. Everything our hearts desire can and will be yours, ours. It's time to start living life to the max and having some real fun again. When we become silent, we will hear the whispers of God. Ralph Waldo Emerson. How many times have we heard the statement made when Jesus In fact, I think this is the truest statement of that time, that the kingdom of God is within us. The God is within each and every one of us. The divine is the God within these bodies. Now he had different understandings. He was inferring that everybody has this innate connection to the great inner kingdom, not just a sacred few. The Christ energy consciousness is this kingdom. We are all Christ energy. And it is effortlessly and instantly found by anyone who surrenders to it. Understand, this isn't religion. It's way far from religion. We are already connected to this amazing state of consciousness right in this very now. Yet, we may not feel it because the mind is blocking the way. Only when the mind becomes completely relaxed and trusting of this life can it be fully revealed. Now, when we fall naturally into the deepest stillness and silence within us, we will discover this awesome, enlightening consciousness is already there. The Christ energy consciousness is the highest state of consciousness that there is. There is nothing more loving, accepting, insightful, appreciative, and jovial than this enlightened state of mind. Believe it or not, this is our most natural state. When we choose to be at peace with ourselves over everything else in this universe, we naturally begin to connect with this deeply profound spiritual healing energy that resides at the core of our being. We constantly overlook these higher states of consciousness because the mind is so preoccupied and clinging to its extensive variety of desires, thoughts, and fears. The mind basically becomes so busy that it forgets that a more enlightened experience of this life is available to explore in each new moment. Many of us were all taught as children how powerful and important the mind is. And so we blindly follow the mind. We tag along, remain extremely close to it, and believe in it wherever it goes. Unknowingly, we waddle along from one thought to the next, grasping onto every dip and wiggle like we are the chick and it's the great mama duck. You may find that weeks, months, and years can pass by where you are consistently following the mind for 24 hours a day around without a break. We may even believe that we have no other choice than to hang on the tail of the mind and be pulled along with its desires forever. The mind's hypnotic spell over us is deep and yet extremely tantalizing, as we may feel lost without it, and are often happily caught in its habit of reaching into this delicious world of desires. Sometimes it happens in a rare moment or situation in this life that we suddenly stop following the mind. A deep relaxation occurs, and we realize that we do not have to follow our thoughts at all. We eventually understand that our desires will manifest for us at the right time, and so we can simply bask and enjoy the expansive glory of this great universe around us. It is from this mind-stopping space that a deeper inquiry arises within to find where is the source of this mind. When we peer inside to see where our thoughts are originating from, it causes the mind to become very quiet. And it is this silence which unlocks the door to finding our connection with the Christ-conscious energy within. The greatest magical moments of our lives manifest the moment we step back from our desiring, seeking, searching, needy minds. When we rest into the stillness of the center of our hearts, the mind must let go. Life instantly becomes a serene, perfect, and naturally centered experience. We feel there is an eternity ahead of us. And in this healing space, we stop trying to create, achieve, or change anything in this world. It feels so good just resting here with existence, revealing our natural divinity, while appreciating and accepting this entire universe as it is. It is in the merging of a quiet, trusting mind and the deepest relaxation in the body where the Christ consciousness abides. Discovering this place inside us will heal many layers and lifetime of doubts, worry, and fear. The enlightened state enters us automatically when the mind truly stops. And when the mind stops, our consciousness expands and we enter that state. They happen simultaneously, as if they were two sides of the same coin. The very moment we become completely relaxed and at peace with everything in this life, this highest consciousness must move into us and act through us. It has no other choice. I am a human being, just like you, but at the same time, I am God. That was taken from the Gospel of St. Thomas. Jesus said that. I am a human being, just like you, but at the same time, I am God. Another enlightening tip to reveal the Christ consciousness within us takes a little creative exploration and personal commitment, because this amazing enlightened state is so precious, powerful, and transforming. It resides in the place we would least expect it to be. Our Christ consciousness is not discovered through pushing to find the highest experiences or attempting to resist or avoid the lower experiences. It's not found from trying to only think positive thoughts, nor rejecting those fearful parts of ourselves that are not so positive about this life. Christ consciousness is much bigger than the mind, and is something that finds us when we're naturally at peace, with both extremes. When any of us are walking the middle path of this life, that place which is free from any clinging to the higher and resisting the lower, the great feeling of freedom enters us. There's no struggle to change anything in this life on the middle road. We see that our consciousness is completely perfect, and it knows everything is perfect as it is. There is this feeling of extreme peace. We know we have already arrived at the great kingdom, so it's not trying to get anywhere special. Now, the best part is that the mind becomes crystal clear and is no longer running the show. The mind becomes crystal clear. And when the mind becomes crystal clear and is no longer running the show, we become liberated from the demanding, striving, obsessive ego, realize how wonderful it is to relax and enjoy the simple experience of being alive. Only through finding this middle way in every action, thought, and situation we are in can we transcend our clinging minds, surrender to Source, and discover an effortless freedom from our relentless egos. On the path of surrender, our highest consciousness becomes infused in everything that we do, because the mind is no longer pushing towards what it wants, nor trying to get away from what it doesn't want. We can actually relax in the experience of now. We suddenly find it very easy to let go of those typical issues which normally irritate and worry us, because we are so enthralled in amazing natural expanse of the divine universe flowing all around us. It is important to know that the society around us has hypnotized everybody, everyone, to believe it is quite normal to live in states of desire, struggle, and suffering. That we need this and have to buy that in order to be happy, and without it, we cannot relax and just be content with life as it is. Humanity has gotten used to being needy, and this causes loads of suffering. The habit of resting and relaxing in stillness, acceptance of life as it is so cosmic, empowering, and transformative. We will never go back to striving for anything again. Being patient with yourself is absolutely paramount, as this suffering habit is accepted by everyone. The entire society are like children who have been given one pair of shoes to wear at birth, and years later, they are 5 sizes too small. We've all been wearing these tiny shoes for so many years that we have just accepted the experience that life typically is small, tight, and confined. These small shoes come in many styles and forms, such as the plethora of rules, regulations, laws, and more superstructure of an overly controlled, untrusting society. An overly controlled, untrusting society. We are all wearing tight, tiny, little wooden shoes, and we don't know how to take them off. We have shrunken ourselves to fit into them and believe that this is who we are. We don't so easily accept that the Christ-conscious energy is our basic nature and our soul's natural destiny. Everyone is blindly following around the ego-driven mind, and so we should do what is normal. Otherwise, we won't fit in and find happiness. What everyone really should be doing first thing every morning is break free from this mass societal hypnosis, realize the Christ consciousness is our very nature. When we stop running to catch up with the other rats and we sit and relax, that finding an enlightened way of seeing this life is the most important thing we can do with our time. We start living a new life that is constantly bubbling up joy, creativity, love, and energy within us. After a few days of this, we will find suffering has stopped showing up on our radar. So I invite you to explore what it's like to feel these tiny shoes. If you continue tolerating and ignoring them, it's like tossing a fat bucket of mud splattered all over our windshield and learning how to just deal with it. You honestly think we should continue trying to see the road ahead through that little half clear spot on the bottom corner of our windshield and keep driving even faster? The ego is too stubborn and addicted to old habits and would never think to pull over, stop the car, get out, and completely wash the entire thing off. Pay attention to the stillness, the silence more often. And there will come a day when we will experience the ego is not really running this show. This inner silence is what enlightenment is all about. Washing everything off. Clearing ourselves from the mind muck and incessant chatter that's constantly squeezing us and compressing our lives. When we are with people, don't try to fit into the smaller pair of shoes so others feel more comfortable with the bigger ones. Society will never be satisfied with who you truly are. It's just not comfortable allowing everyone's Christ consciousness to move freely about until everybody becomes this awakened being. Then there will be absolute trust of the individual and no need for controlling rules and regulations. You stand at the edge ready to throw yourself in. What a shock to discover there's nowhere to go and no one to throw. Ramsu. You stand at the edge ready to throw yourself in. What a shock to discover there is nowhere to go and no one to throw. I'm not saying that our society is totally wrong. It's just asleep. It doesn't want to recognize the Christ consciousness in every being. It thrives off of suffering, and the government would go out of business. The government would go out of business if we all awakened to our sovereign state, connecting with our enlightened consciousness inside. It will take everything we've got inside us to stand up, be strong, and liberate ourselves from the mass hypnosis. When the Christ consciousness is awakened in us, we will know. We will feel unstoppable in every way, in everything we do, and totally trust that wherever life decides to take us, it's always guiding us home. What I want more than anything is that you learn how to trust yourself. Now, if you've been driving for years with a massive mud cake on the windshield of your mind, a deep cleaning and brainwashing may be needed. Start with affirming to yourself that you can trust yourself every day in every way. Feel what trusting your heart is like. How does it resonate inside? Realize that remaining at 100% trust is the enlightened state that knows everything is perfect as it is. Meditate on this thought. Do it for the next 90 days. Notice how your body, mind, and life tend to respond. This is the journey that we're on. It's a continual discovery, each step that we take within. It never ends. We've been on this journey for thousands of lifetimes. But the exciting part is, enough of us have identified who and what we are in the body and have decided to go deeper, and then we've increased our vibrational frequency, which affects everyone and everything around us. In a good way. A supremely powerful good way. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy and a slow breath in through the nose, and a slow and easy breath out of the mouth. All great enlightened beings of this world became that way because they deeply understood one basic thing: their eternal connection to a divine source is and who they really are. Take a few minutes to give yourself permission to understand this for yourself. We are enlightened beings waiting to realize it today. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. And we'll return here tonight at 9 p.m. East for our Time for Change call. And then tomorrow, December 29th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guide meditation. So, be very good to yourself.